Doesn't look like we have a quorum.
Hello, Janet. Yeah, and I'm not quite sure who all responded to Autumn about whether they were attending or not. I did just see an email from Sherry that she's not feeling well, and so she's not going to be able to come. Sherry. So Laura, is Autumn coming? Does she have RSVPs, say, from Shayla?
She is coming. I'm not sure about Shayla. I know Rebecca and Judy were coming. Oh, here's Shayla now.
Yay.
Hello,
Hey, Shayla.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
We were just talking because we're not sure we have a quorum.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
I think with Sherry not coming, we won't have a quorum now.
And that mostly means we can't vote on anything, correct? Is there any
Exactly.
other implications from not having a quorum?
Nope, just can't pass the minutes.
Okay.
How's your new job, Sheila? It's not so new anymore, I guess.
No, it's not. I started in February. It's been keeping me really busy. I have probably at least 60 clients I'm working with trying to find them housing across the state. So it's really tough.
But what a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah, it feels rewarding when you actually can help them connect with the resources they need. But unfortunately, it's just really tough in this climate. A lot of folks are homeless and struggling to make ends meet, especially if they're on a fixed income. So, yeah.
Have you looked at the new city plan? Because one of their objectives is to have affordable housing, but it's hard to tell from the map what the plan actually is. I would like to learn more about it.
Yeah, I would too. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Well, I know Rebecca said she's going to be 5 to 10 minutes late. I'm not sure if we're expecting anyone else to join the meeting. Autumn, did you get any more RSVPs for this?
Yeah, I thought I had heard from Judy that she was gonna come.
Okay. Sue, would you like to give it a couple more minutes before we start, or should we go ahead?
I think it's fine to go ahead until we have a quorum. We just can't take any votes, but there's no need to hold everybody else up.
Okay. All right, let's get started. We can call this meeting to order. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just pulling up my agenda here. All right, are there any public comment?
There is. We have one hand raised. Let me bring Cecilia Mills in.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can.
Great. So I just happened to have a coincidence, but your meeting was taking place. And I just wanted to let you be aware that there's the situation in Charlottesville that people don't know whom to call when social services are needed, not for a person in financial need, but of financial means, and they have no family, and maybe their executor or trustee or that's not a legal guardian is also declining. So I find myself crowdsourcing, trying to find this information. And even social workers are not able to tell me an approach for someone in my neighborhood. And so I think this might be something that maybe and then I saw your meeting was happening. And I thought, well, maybe this is the place to start, just so if there's information that could be brought to the fore, so people know what to do rather than having to ask around to try and find help for someone. It's actually becoming a neighborhood issue in our neighborhood. Is that, I know you guys have your Robert's Rules of Orders, but could someone give me a hint as whether this is the right place to take this?
Shelley, you want me to answer that?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Mills. Have you contacted our department? Because that would be the best place to start, or I'd be happy to reach out to you if you don't.
Okay, I have not, because I thought, well, I don't want them to say, well, is this person in financial need and we're not the right place? Or...
Well, so the Department of Social Services not only administers public assistance benefits, which include financial assistance, but we also handle protective and supportive services for children and adults who are deemed to be incapacitated and or at risk. So our department would be a great place to start. If we can't provide services directly, we can definitely refer you to someone that would be of assistance.
Great.
So the number is 970-3400.
Okay, so by phone is the best,
Yes, ma'am. We're not yet open to the public, the city offices.
but I mean, would email be better?
Oh, phone would be better because then you can actually talk to someone and we can, it's quicker by phone.
Okay,
If
that's
easy
wonderful.
for you. Yeah.
But I just thought, well, this might be serendipity that your meeting was happening, and so I thank you very much.
When you call, just ask to speak with the adult service intake worker.
Okay, great, thank you.
And thanks for reaching out to your neighbor.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, well, a blessing and a curse.
That's actually our only attendee. So there's no other person for public comment at this time.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Mills. So we cannot approve meeting minutes since we don't have a quorum. Members' minutes are up next on the agenda. I'm not sure if we have anything for that either. All right, and then the chair report is next. I do not have any updates at this time. And so Sue, if you have anything for the director's report, we are all ears.
Our focus really this last couple months since we last met has been working on our reopening plan. The city expects to open offices to the public on the Tuesday after Labor Day, which is September 7th, I believe. But the departments will not necessarily be fully staffed as they were before COVID, and our departments is one of those where we have been able to successfully do our jobs remotely, and we have some staff that prefer to continue to work remotely. So we're going to look a little bit different, but our level of service will be the same. We're still finalizing that. We have to get our plan approved by the city manager's office, and then we'll work on a public message for that. And then I did just want to follow up on your all's interest in looking at some of the disproportionality and disparity in our caseload and offer a suggestion. Well, first of all, I think we have another board member that was appointed at the most recent city council meeting. So we'll get that person onboarded, but also we have a staff-led work group focusing on racial awareness during crises, and they are developing an action plan to look at some of the research that we've done on disparity and disproportionality in our child welfare caseload specifically. And it might be of interest to the board to have the leaders of that group come talk with them about their initiative.
That would be great. I remember Rebecca sent an email about that and wanting to follow up and actually make some action moves towards that. So that would be great.
Okay, so we want me to invite Jesse Williams, who's the leader of that group, to the next meeting, which would be the 4th Monday in September, I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Okay, I can do that. And just one of the other things that is still up.
Hold
in
on, hold on. Can I ask a question? We're doing every other month, right? So next meeting would be August.
August, sorry, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I have July on my mind.
August 30th. Oh, I'm sorry, August 23rd would be the fourth Monday.
August 23rd, yes. And whether or not the public meetings, the board members for public meetings will be in person or able to participate virtually is still being figured out and negotiated by the city. So we'll have more information to you definitely by the August meeting about what our meetings going forward will look like. But in August, plan to be meeting virtually again.
I don't have access, this is Janet, I don't have access to the city manager directly, but it is very weird to walk down the mall and all the shops are open, all the restaurants are busy, and yet the public building is closed. I ran into a woman who traveled 2 hours to come to the DMV office, and she was just frantic. She ended up crying because she was gonna have, her problem was not solved and she had driven these hours. I think the city looks very bad not to be providing services when everything is really open.
I encourage you to provide that feedback to the city manager's office by phone or email. We are still providing services, but most offices are not open for face-to-face in-office services. Our department is providing services generally out in the field with a lot of flexibility, and at least at this point, we have not seen any negative impact on our performance. In fact, we feel that clients are more engaged because we are more flexible and they have more flexibility instead of having to come into our office. Things like the DMV, the DMV offices statewide are open, so that's why our satellite office is not yet open, but for walk-in traffic. But the treasurer's office is open by appointment for folks who need to come in. And there is a kiosk on the mall. I understand it does seem weird for life to be back to normal and the government offices aren't open, but there is a kiosk on the mall that will be able to, if you are walking into the city hall and you didn't know that most offices were closed, the staff at the kiosk, they're at lunch from 12 to 1, and to my knowledge, there's no coverage for that. But they'll make sure that you get to wherever you need to go if you are looking to come into City Hall, that you'll get the service that you need. But thank you, Janet. I understand, and I really encourage you to provide that feedback to the city manager's office.
Thank you, and thanks for operating effectively remotely. That's great.
We really are hearing from staff that it's time for us to take a look at how to do things differently. Most local departments of social services, that's really the only area that I'm tracking, are looking to move to some sort of a hybrid model. 2 days in, 3 days out. It's a good combination for staff and clients. It's so far it's a win-win, and we're trying to make sure that we take advantage of that.
That's great. Thank you, Sue. And you said offices are opening up the Tuesday after Labor Day. Okay, great. Any other questions? And is there anything else we would like to discuss that wasn't on the agenda, because that was the end of the agenda? No.
Is there going to be an impact to social services on the financial assistance that's coming from the child something $300 payments to children? I'm not sure I got the name of it, but it's supposed to start in July.
There's 2 supplemental assistance programs that are being operated. One is related to childcare subsidy, and one is related to food stamps for kids that are on free and reduced lunch. Are either of those what you were interested in?
What President Biden said, this was going to have child poverty because parents will get a check for $300 per child. Do I have that wrong?
No, that is correct. Families can elect to either receive the $300 per month, or they can wait until they do their income taxes the following year and take the credit then. But parents have to sign up for it in advance.
Thank you, Laura. So Janet, that's a federal benefit. It's not going to be administered at the local level. Is that correct, Laura?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there anything else we'd like to discuss that's not on the agenda?
Well, since we are meeting every other month, I just want to throw out there that in August, it will be time to start working on our annual report to council.
Thank you for that reminder.
So start thinking about any topics you would like to include in the report.
Okay. And I'll email the advisory board and see if there's any topics that we would especially like to discuss in that annual report and compile those responses and discuss with Sue.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. All right, any last questions, final comments, anything we'd like to speak about before we end the meeting? It's pretty early ending. All right, well, with that, we will adjourn and we'll see you August 23rd.
Thanks, Shayla. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you, Shayla. Bye, everybody.
Have a good afternoon.